Greetings. Today we're going to see part 3 of our series on cardiovascular exercise. And today we're going to talk about the health benefits you can get by doing cardio. So here's our favorite picture. The first video I said, hey, look at all those people on the treadmill. Makes you want to get out and do a marathon. Then last week I said, well, maybe that's a bit too intense. So we just did this sitting down. Maybe we'll split the difference. How about you watch this video while you're doing running in place? That way you get some cardio. Now the beauty of cardio, we said, a lot of research that's done in this area. We can consider it settled science. You can get a longer life, a healthier life, higher quality of life, more energy, feeling better, and also slowing down the consequences of aging. All right, so let's do a recap of the last couple of videos. In the first video, we said that the American Heart Association recommends that you do 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, cardio exercise each week. We said that moderate intensity, that's 3 to 6 METs, metabolic equivalent of the task. That means that you burn anywhere from 3 to 6 times the amount of energy you would normally burn when you're at rest. We said that in the second video, cardio helps everybody. Helps you live longer regardless of how old you are. If you're over 40, you could get maybe 4 or 5 extra years of healthy life. If you're over 60, like I am, you could still get between 2.5 and 3 years of extra life of healthy living. Men and women both get benefits, and even we can close the racial longevity gap because African Americans, who statistically tend to have shorter life expectancies than Caucasian people, tend to get more cardio benefits than Caucasians, meaning that they close that gap, they make up some of what they lose. We can mitigate reduction in life expectancy if you're overweight, or people who have severe diseases like cardiovascular disease or cancer. They can get back 6 or even 7 years of the life that they might lose from those diseases by doing a good amount of cardio exercise. We also talked at the end of the video, and this is a good one, so if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. We can maximize our cardio benefits by looking at other parts of our lifestyles, like eating a good diet, having good nutritional supplements, healthy sleep, managing stress. These will help us get maximum benefit from our cardio exercise. But today, we're going to talk about how we can help everyone be healthier with cardio. So it helps you live longer, helps you live healthier. We're going to go over some research that was done in a paper published by The Lancet, a very respected medical journal, done over a long period of time with hundreds of thousands of people. So let's look at this. Cardiovascular disease, one of the leading causes of death in Americans and worldwide. People over 20 were in this study. They looked at different levels of cardio. So at the most basic level, so this is like doing 3.75 to 7.49 med hours per week. So think of that as doing just 1 hour of a moderate intensity cardio exercise in a week. The relative risk reduction is 0.81. So what does that mean? That means you're 81% as likely to contract cardiovascular disease as somebody who does not do any cardio at all. So that means that's the equivalent of a 19% risk reduction. So 100% minus 81%, you've reduced your risk by 19%. That's often the way you hear these things when people talk to you about, oh, you can do this and you can reduce your risk by this amount. They're talking about this, but if you go and read the papers yourself, you'll often see a relative risk reduction in this form. So this is how you interpret that. If you do the sweet spot, you're at the 150 minutes, you're a little bit better, 21%. And if you do a good amount, more than 25 med hours a week, so let's say that's like brisk walking, an hour a day, 5 days a week, maybe jogging 3 hours a week, almost a 50% reduction in your risk of cardiovascular disease. That's great, and that's just from exercise alone. Imagine now combining good sleep, stress reduction, and good diet, you can get even more. All right, cancer for people over 20. Again, cancer, one of the leading causes of death in the United States. The effects are not quite as large, 10% at the minimal level, 15% reduction if you follow the American Heart Association's guidelines, and if you do a lot, 22% reduction in cancer. So that's still a good benefit to get. All right, risk of stroke, another serious disease. Here, anywhere from 12% if you do the very minimal, but look at this. If you do a lot of exercise, an hour a day, that's what I try to do, more than a 50% reduction in your risk of getting stroke. That's fantastic, just from doing cardio exercise. Diabetes, another serious problem that affects people. At the very minimal, 11% reduction. But again, if you do a lot, you reduce your risk of diabetes by a half. That's awesome. Oh, by the way, we threw these pictures in here. This is a don't eat these cookies. Even depression. Now this comes from American Medical Association journal. Risk of depression. So their units are a little bit different. This is still equivalent to about 1 hour of a moderate intensity exercise per week. 18% reduction in your risk of depression. That's great. The 17.5, that's the high end, 28%. And this is more like that sweet spot when you're doing the 150 minutes of moderate intensity, 25%. So even reducing your risk of depression is helped by cardiovascular exercise. So the bottom line here, and we've been trying to hammer this home, cardiovascular exercise, good stuff. Everybody should do some cardio. You get benefits, even minimal amounts. So if you're saying, okay, I don't want to go out, I don't want to be a hardcore person who goes out in all the weather and goes running, that's fine, you don't have to do that. Even leisurely walking, so that's the 2 met level. Just going for leisurely walks, that's going to help you. If you find a partner, your spouse, a friend, there's a lot of benefit to be gained from that. There was even a study I read about a year ago that showed that walking up a flight of stairs for 5 minutes, 3 times a week, gave you significant cardio health benefits. So that's very easy. It's weather independent. If you live in a 2-story house or an apartment, you can just walk up and down the flight of stairs. You'll get some cardio benefits. So everybody can find a way to get some cardio in your life. And it's very important that you do that. All right. Well, I want to thank you once again for your kind attention. Remember, please like the video, please subscribe, and please leave a comment. Remember, we can always learn from each other, so please put your cardio exercises in the chat and how it benefits you. And remember, your journey to a younger, healthier you starts here.